guys, welcome back. I'm Laura, I'm a hairstylist, and today we're gonna tackle my grown out roots with high lift hair color. So before we get started, there's a couple things I wanna point out about high lift hair color. For one, you should only use it if your hair is a level 6 or lighter. Most high lifts will produce 4 levels of lift, but some will produce up to 5 levels. It also depends on your hair type. If you have really coarse hair, you may not get as much lift as if you have fine hair. Number 2 is that high lift color is only going to work if you have virgin hair. The only thing that will lift permanent color out of hair is bleach. Now, one of the main reasons why I personally love high lift hair color is because I'm allergic to bleach. So this means I can't put bleach on my scalp without having a pretty severe allergic reaction. So not only is high lift safer for me because I'm not allergic to it, but it's also a lot safer on your hair than using bleach as well. They're two completely different chemicals, and ultimately you can't go wrong using high lift. Now, high lift doesn't give me quite as much lift as bleach does, but it is close enough for me. All of this color that you can see right here has been lightened with high lift. And full disclosure, something I want to point out is this color right here that is going to be freshly colored will likely be a little bit warmer of a color than this hair down here that was colored in the past. Each time I pull the high lift through, I pull it down over the previous session and it bumps me up like a shade or half a shade, just enough to take a little bit more of that remaining warmth out. But since it's been so long since I have done any high lift, I'm gonna have quite a bit of potentially warmth in my hair here. And I'm okay with that, because the next time I color it in a month or so, I'm gonna pull it down over that and it's gonna brighten it back up. So I use 3 different Wella colors in my formula. And note that it is equal parts of each color. Now, because I have so much here, I did 20 grams of each color. So this is 60 grams total of color. And then you mix it with double 40 volume developer. So because I did 60 grams of color, you would mix 120 grams of 40 volume developer. And the colors I used are 12.07, 12.96, and 12.11. So I typically like to start off any global coloring service by following the perimeter or the outline of each section. So I'm gonna start with this section. So I just go through and I hit the perimeter to get it totally saturated along the edges. Now, something else I want to point out is that since my hair is so grown out, the color is not going to process completely evenly. The hair closest to your scalp will always process quicker because it heats up from your scalp. Your scalp produces heat, which creates the cuticle, the outer layer of your hair, to open up wider. So what I'm actually going to do after I apply the color to the root is I'm gonna put some foils in between there just to keep a little bit of extra heat on those areas that aren't quite as close to the scalp. Now, if you don't have as much root as I have, then this is not something that you have to worry about. Now, since this money piece here didn't have quite as much of a root, I don't need to put that all the way in foils. I'm just gonna pull the color down a little bit just to re-hit the last time we colored it. Now, keep in mind that the purpose of these foils is really just to hold the heat in. We don't need to worry about them actually separating the hair the same way we would with bleach. So it's not totally necessary to be super precise with your foil application. You really just want to make sure that they're holding the heat in to the hair. So if you can see, I'm first going through and just making sure that this hair is fully saturated. I find it easiest to do this between my fingers. Then I'm gonna go back and comb it through, and then I will place it inside of a foil. have people ask me how I color the back of my head myself, and the honest answer is muscle memory. So I have been doing hair for like 16 years, and I've been doing my own hair for most of that time. And just over time, you get used to the movements in the mirror. And there have been times where I have colored my hair without even using a mirror before. Especially when I'm using high lift, I'm not really that concerned about overlapping. In fact, I want to overlap. Now, if I was using bleach, it would be a little bit more concerning, because if I were to overlap over the previously colored hair, I would likely have a lot of breakage. But because I use high lift color, I don't have to worry about that, and it's actually a good thing if I do pull color over the previously colored hair. Alrighty, so we've got all of the high lift color applied. So I'm gonna let this process actually for an hour and a half. I know that might sound like a long time, but I wanna give it the full amount of time to give it all the lift it needs. And then how high lift works is it tones after it lifts. All right, you guys, so it has been an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm gonna pull all of these foils out and pull the color down throughout the ends so that the ends get toned a little bit and it blends all the way throughout. All right, so I'm gonna let this sit for the last 15 minutes and then we're gonna rinse it. Hey you guys, we're back. So I have got the high lift rinsed out and I dried this front section. Now, as we knew, there is still a bit of brassiness, of warmth left remaining in this hair. We knew that was gonna happen. I wanna take this opportunity and show you guys how to correct this if this happens to you and you don't like it. I know warmer blondes are in right now, but a lot of people don't like warmer blondes. So if you do like warmer blondes, leave it how it is and you're good to go. If you don't and you want an ashier blonde, follow what I'm gonna do next. So what we're gonna do to correct this is apply a toner over top of this. Now, since the only part of my color that needs the toner is up here, I am not going to pull it through the ends. This is because these ends, because they're already so light and bright, they would really suck up the toner and they would turn kind of purpley. So I'm not gonna pull it over that, and particularly I'm gonna leave the money piece out because that doesn't need any toning. The majority of the hair that needs toning is back and throughout here, so that's where we're gonna apply the toner. So the toner I'm using is Kenra, and I'm using their Demi-Permanent line, and I'm doing 7SM, which is silver metallic, 20 grams to 10 grams of their violet booster. And so because I'm doing a level 7 and this color is lifted up to like a level 8, 9, it's really going to cover that warmth and take on a much cooler tone. And I'm not concerned about it being too dark because it's going to fade up over time completely out of the hair because I used a Demi-Permanent. Then next time when I'm ready to color the hair again in a month or so, I can just pull it right over this previously colored hair and it'll lighten up just like these ends are here. Now, if you'll notice, I'm starting in the back, not the front, and that's because the hair in the back of my head is naturally darker than the hair in the front is. So I know that that's gonna need more of a toner than the front pieces are. So I want that to sit on the back longer than it sits on the front. I don't want the front to take on too purpley, even though it may end up having a bit of a violet hint. That's okay. I want to just make sure I'm starting in the back since that's the hair that needs it the most. All right, guys, so here we have the final result. So this is after applying the toner. I blow dried, I threw some curls in, and I am so happy with the results. It's definitely an ashier blonde, but this is good because it's going to counteract that residual warmth that was still left in the hair, and it's going to last me a while. So every time I shampoo, it's going to be a little bit less ashy. And so after 1 month, I'll then go back and do my roots. And when I do those roots, I'm gonna pull it through over these pieces that were a little bit warmer. That will bump those up to be as bright as these pieces. So I just wanted to show it is possible to get platinum hair without using bleach, depending on what your natural hair color is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you want to make every day a good hair day. Thanks for watching.